So, UFC 323 is tomorrow, and I am so excited. I cannot begin to express how excited I really am. And not even because of the main event. I don't even care that much about the main event because we all know how that's going to go down. Another slaughterhouse performance for Marab, right? I'm talking about the whole main event. I feel like a lot more is at stake with this, and it's a lot more compelling of a matchup with the co-main event. Because on one hand, you got Joshua Van, a 24-year-old Burmese killer who's a zoomer like me, walks out to Sosa, is super hip to that, right? He has the fastest hands in the UFC, averages 8.86 significant strikes landed per minute, which is ungodly. Three more significant strikes than the second highest guy, who's at like 5.56, right? Oh yeah, another thing. Joshua Van is on track to absolutely destroy the total significant strikes record, by the way. Just don't want to put that out there. Look at that graph, you feel me? But yeah, that's enough glaze for him, right? Because I got even more glaze for Pantoja. I got to save the glaze for him. With Alexandre Pantoja, who is right here, right now, the flyweight GOAT. Right now, even without a Joshua Van victory, he is the flyweight GOAT right now. Yes, over Demetrius Johnson. Yes. And I'm going to explain why. So, Demetrius Johnson, or DJ, or Mighty Mouse, whatever you want to call him, right? His biggest claim to being the GOAT of flyweight, his biggest talking point is the amount of title defenses he's had and the long win streak he's had, right? 13 consecutive wins, 11 title defenses. Absolutely amazing, right? Well, let me tell you something. Do y'all remember Bill Russell? RIP Bill Russell, absolute legend, right? Bill Russell owns 11 NBA titles and he played during the 60s. During the 60s, he won 11 championships. 11. But in case you ever wondered, oh my God, why is he not considered the GOAT of basketball if he has 11 championships? We put so much emphasis on championships, right? Shouldn't he be the undisputed GOAT if he by far has more than anybody? Well, here's the thing that us basketball fans understand. We add extra context to stuff. Bill Russell, when he won his first couple championships, there was like less than 10 total teams in the NBA. In Bill Russell's best season, which was 1961, 1962, there were 8 teams. So that means, just off of probability alone, if you take a dice with 8 sides on it and you're trying to roll a number 7, you have a 12% chance of the dice rolling on a number 7. Now, if you compare that to a LeBron James dice that has 30 sides on it and you're trying to roll a number 7, then you're only going to have a 3.33% chance of rolling on a number 7. So, how does this relate to Demetrius Johnson? Well, you're going to find out. Demetrius Johnson, when he got his first title defense, right? How many active flyweights were on the roster during that time when he got his first title defense? 14. Now, how many active fighters on the roster were there for Pantoja for flyweight when he got his first title defense? 50. That means Demetrius Johnson had a 7.14% chance of winning the title just off of probability alone, which is decently high. And that's without taking into consideration skill or anything of that nature. Now, when you look at Pantoja, who had to go up against 50 different people, he didn't fight 50 different people, but the odds were 1 to 50, right? Just off of basic probability, right? His percentages of winning the belt was 2%. So when one dice has 14 sides and the other dice has 50, self-explanatory. Now, here's another thing to take into consideration. The average age of Alexandre Pantoja's opponents that he fought, win or loss, was 29 years old, right? For DJ, the average age was 26, which says a lot because, most people hit their prime at around 31, 32 years old, you feel me? But that was a different era. That was a sooner era. So people probably hit their primes at a younger age because their careers didn't last as long. So we'll give DJ the benefit of the doubt for that. But what we can't give him the benefit of the doubt is that the fact that the sport just simply evolves. Okay? Pantoja's opponents were way more experienced than DJ's opponents, and the age just plays into that. Pantoja's combined opponent records in the UFC was 69, 34, and 2. For DJ, it was 55, 15, and 1. And I'm talking like records leading into their fight with Pantoja. Fights they had afterwards don't count unless Pantoja had a rematch with them. So going into the fight with Pantoja, his opponents were way more experienced. 34 more UFC fights combined than Demetrius Johnson's opponents. So Pantoja is dealing with more competition. He's dealing with more experienced competition and competition that's closer to their prime age. So what is he doing relative to his competition in comparison to what Demetrius Johnson was doing to his competition in terms of finishes? Pantoja had a 47% finish rate, and he also holds the record for most finishes in flyweight history, as well as most submissions in flyweight history. Demetrius Johnson, I mean, he had a 33% finish rate in the UFC. Ah. Now, the number one thing, like I've already said before, that gives Demetrius Johnson the edge in most people's eyes is the fact that he has a 13 fight win streak, right? Pantoja's currently on an 8 fight win streak, but I'll let y'all decide which one is more impressive. Pantoja being on an 8 fight win streak in a more skilled era, a more competitive era with more total fighters in it, or Demetrius Johnson doing a 13 fight win streak during the infancy of the division with less competition, with less skilled competition against younger competition, less experienced competition. Which one do y'all think is more impressive? 13 in a weaker era or 8 in a stronger era? Keep in mind, Pantoja also has more finishes as well. So y'all let me know about that one. I'll let y'all decide. But all in all, I mean, the GOAT debate for flyweight, to me, I still think it's Alexandre Pantoja. You could argue that Demetrius Johnson is still the flyweight GOAT of the UFC. Now, who the flyweight GOAT is of MMA as a whole, I would still give the edge to Demetrius Johnson because he did have 6 fights in one championship. But as far as just UFC goes, I think Pantoja has done more in the UFC in the flyweight division than Demetrius Johnson has. I think what Pantoja has done is more impressive, and I think it should count for more. And if y'all happen to be bigger Pantoja glazers than I am, then I suggest you cop one of these shirts. You feel me? These Pantoja shirts are fire. Mine is getting shipped as we speak. It's 50% off. And when you use promo code Dana Black, you get an extra 5% off. 55% off for the holidays. You can't really make that up. So I suggest y'all cop y'all shirts if y'all really want to show love. If y'all don't want to cop a shirts, that's fine. Next year, you're going to be paying twice as much for it. That's what I'll say. But yeah, other than that, y'all let me know, man. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts. If y'all still think DJ's the GOAT, let me know. If y'all think Pantoja's the GOAT, or if I've convinced you, or if you hated the video, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, subscribe as well. I got plenty more heat coming for y'all. And yeah, y'all know I'm a big Yuri glaze. I got Yuri on my chest right now, you feel me? But like I said, and like I always say, let's go for that.